Why are we always rushing? Sometimes I can be on my way somewhere, even just going home, and I will feel this sense of like rush, rush, rush. I need to rush. There's a sense of urgency, even to get to places where I'm not late, like getting home. It made me think a bit more of how I see a lot of people have this sense of urgency. I work in a school where I have a lot of students who are young, like in their late teens and early 20s, and sometimes they don't get into their program of choice, or they want to apply for a program and they want to get into the very first intake and they don't want to wait. They don't want to wait a year or two to get in. They are young, but they are already feeling this urgency and pressure of time that they need to start the program and get finishing it and get working and being in their career. And I always encourage them that waiting a year or a year and a half is not a bad thing if that's something that you're really interested in. If that's a program of your passion, you'll be working for a lot of your life in that field anyway. So what is a year or two? But I still feel that sense of urgency and pressure. Perhaps it's coming from their parents. This video is kind of like a devil's advocate video against that feeling or element of urgency that we feel all around us. And I'm gonna give a few reasons, a few encouragements here of why it would be better for us to take our time a little bit and slow down and breathe and just be and enjoy the beauty of time. So firstly, I have seen, especially when I look in nature, that everything has its own timing. And that timing is specific and it's particular and it's precise. And if that timing was slightly off, even by a little bit, our world we'd be out. So if you even just think about the speed within which the earth is moving and the movement and the orbit of the earth around the sun, which gives us our seasons. When you think of a butterfly that comes out of its cocoon at the perfect timing, when you think of how seeds sprout out from the ground at a very particular time period, when you think about the tides that come in, the moon and its phases, and then you think about us, the human body, and circulation and blood flow and cell processing, and the time that it takes for a baby to develop in the womb, and the time that it takes for a baby to grow and it's dependent on its mother's milk. It develops and it crawls and it walks and it talks, and all of these human developmental processes, entering childhood and puberty and teenagehood and adulthood and growing to middle age and elderly, all of those processes are absolutely necessary and they can't be rushed even one little bit. We can apply that same kind of logic to our social lives, and when we feel ready, like when we feel ready to be in a relationship and to have a family and to enter the workforce. I feel that all of those things have to happen at the right or ripe timing in order for them to go well. For example, if you enter into a relationship prematurely, or when you're not ready, or when things between the two people is not quite ripe, there will be a lot of bumps in the road.
Not to mention that when you get that relationship, when you get that job, when you have that child, when you revisit the healing that you need from something that happened in your childhood or happened a year ago, that very thing will have its own timeline. And that's not a timeline that you'll be able to control. You will literally have to let go of wanting that relationship or that child's development or that job or your healing journey or your ability level when it comes to a new sport that you're playing or your fitness journey, all of those things will have their own timeline, which you may have some element of control over in terms of the dedication and the time, the energy, the work that you are putting in to nurture those things in your life. But you will not have full control over the outcomes or when things happen, when there are specific revelations, when there are new developments, especially things in your life that involve other people or other factors. Like with a relationship, you might get into a relationship and realize like, oh no, I don't think we are exactly ready for the things that I wanted at this time. Like I wanted us to maybe become exclusive at this time or live together, have kids, feel like we're developing trust all in this specific timeline. But a lot of things that involve other people take their own timeline. And even with yourself, there are things that come up or you realize in your heart, emotions, different things that you didn't even know were going to be there. So in a sense, it's like we all have to let go of this sense of urgency and control of when things happen.
So we see the power of time all throughout the world, all throughout nature. And when we slow down and just really understand that and take that in, it makes us see how important time is. Another reason why I feel that urgency needs to be questioned is because I feel that a lot of elements regarding time in our social consciousness and our culture are more so constructed, and they're more so dictated and practiced and kind of put out there as the set way that things should be. But why does it need to be like that? For example, perhaps like 200 or 300 years ago, we had women getting married at the ages of like 12 to 15. We didn't even have a set like teenager phase. Childbirth was happening at younger rates than we see today, and it was because, you know, people didn't live as long as they are living today. But we see how as the generations, the centuries progress, time is quite relative. Things shift, things change. And we can see how there is a lot of benefit to that when things are moving. Like, for example, with people getting married a little bit later in life, like in their 30s and 40s, I have read up that a lot of people, because they are feeling like more mature and maybe their careers are a lot more settled, they have a deeper sense of who they are, a lot of those marriages go a lot better than when people get married very young, like early 20s. Another reason why we can let go of our grip on urgency is when something in life that we are striving for or going for is prolonged, it gives us a chance to really reflect and to view that thing in a better light. So for example, I keep going back to it, but it's just a very easy example, like marriage, or say you wanted to get into a schooling program and that's delayed, or say you wanted to have kids and that's delayed, or you had some kind of venture or goal or opportunity that is delayed. It gives us more time to mature and reflect and be ready and prepared for that thing. And it also helps us to like loosen our grip a lot more over that thing, so that we're no longer viewing it as the be all and end all. And we are seeing that element of our life in a greater perspective amongst all the other elements of our lives as well. I think that loosening our grip or letting go of urgency also helps us to see that we're not just a human doing, but we are a human being. We are meant to be present in the moments of our days. We are meant to enjoy and be at one and be at peace with the things that are around us in this very moment. We are meant to understand and know that this breath in this moment is everything. This life force that is moving and breathing in this moment is the value. And it's not about doing something at a certain time or getting to a certain place right now. It's just about beholding now, beholding the present moment. And I think that often we've lost the plot on this. Just a few days ago, I was taking a dance class and I kind of had a moment where I was like, wow, like I'm here in this moment. I'm enjoying what I love to do. Let me enjoy this moment, because it's very common with someone like me to always be thinking about what am I doing next? What am I doing when I get home? What am I doing tomorrow? What goals should I set for this week? It's very rare for me, although I'm trying to do it more, to just like sit in silence and like feel my body, feel the weight of it underneath what I'm sitting on, feel my breath, and have a lot of gratitude for where I'm at. So I feel like letting go of urgency allows us to feel ourselves more and feel who we are right now. My name is Imo, and this is my channel In My Opinion. And if you love on the fly, in the moment takes, like these little revelations about life, please like, comment, and subscribe. I look forward to seeing you again, and thank you for your support. Bye.